A close call, a moment of danger when life can hang in the balance.
It was about survival at that point.
A split second where the outcome could go either way.
I knew I had to get the people out of the car.
The difference between disaster and survival.
It was terrifying. I thought it was game over.
These are the people that have been there and lived to tell the tale.
When the doctor had a word with us and thought was preparing us for David's death.
It's like something out of a horror film.
Their instincts and resources, coupled with the quick thinking of others, helped to pull them through.
I wanted to keep them awake. I needed to keep them awake.
And their dramatic experiences were recorded on camera.
Your life is on the line.
It's a day they'll never forget.
The day they had a close call.
Today on Close Calls, the moment an extreme stunt goes terrifyingly wrong. This base jumper has just seconds to save himself.
There's nothing I could do. At that point, for sure, I didn't think that I was going to survive.
A child manages to dial 999 from a car. A woman is unconscious. But can the little girl work out where they are?
Right, you're going to have to try and ask somebody what road you're on for us.
I'm trying, but there's no one's answering.
And a lifeboat crew chase down a driverless spinning speedboat in a busy harbour.
We could see it doing tight circles, pretty much under full throttle.
Lake Garda in northern Italy attracts sightseers all year round. But it's this cliff that has a particular appeal for one group of visitors. At the top, 1,000 feet up, are Matt Goff and two friends. They're intending to take a shortcut down to the banks of the lake with the help of a parachute. Conditions are perfect for the extreme sport of base jumping, and Matt is ready for takeoff. His helmet camera is rolling and ready to record every adrenaline-filled moment. But little does he know what horror his camera is about to capture when he passes the point of no return. Matt Goff has travelled the world searching out the most thrilling locations for base jumping. He's 26 and has been parachuting off man-made structures as well as cliffs for 3 years.
Before you leave the edge of an object, every bone in your body tries to naturally pull you back. But as soon as you get to the point of no return, where you can't physically come back and you've leant too far forward, you go into like a survival mode. And that's when the euphoria kicks in. And then when you pull your parachute and everything's fine, it's just this amazing sense of euphoria.
Matt even makes a living from this extreme sport. He edits the only UK magazine dedicated to it.
It's more than just the jump itself. It's the friendships that you build and the banter and the chats that you have and the emotions you feel when you're hiking up or climbing up to the top of the object.
The views don't come much better than those from this cliff top over Lake Garda.
That jump is a beautiful jump, amazing views, very nice, but it is definitely a scary one.
Matt knows this jump well. He's already completed it twice. Today, he's preparing to make a third jump with a group of 3 friends. Without a parachute, it would be a 10-second free fall to the ground and certain death. One of the group, Matt Robinson, has already decided the danger is too great.
It's not one of the easy cliffs. It's 1,000 foot high, which is quite an awkward height for a base jump.
He's going to watch from a vantage point halfway down the 1,000-foot cliff. Back at the top, there are just seconds to go now. Matt's helmet camera is on and recording.
It's just a ritual high five. Before every jump, you've got to make sure that your equipment's perfectly set up. So it's 100% seriousness at that point. Then before the jump, you can relax a little bit, high fives. Okay guys, let's do this. And then, as I step towards the edge, you kind of click into serious mode again.
Matt has prepared his parachute for this higher jump. It's packed in such a way that it can't be pulled before 6 seconds of free fall. so there's enough airspeed for the canopy to open properly. Too slow and the lines will tangle and twist. Matt is ready for takeoff. Matt's launch is good. At 6.5 seconds, he opens the parachute. But there's a problem. Matt's suddenly in great danger.
As soon as I pulled the parachute, I realised that it wasn't as the other jumps were.
The lines of the parachute are twisted, sending him into a violent spiral, with the canopy facing the cliff.
My canopy didn't actually hit the wall on the first strike. It was my body that hit the wall. Then I kept hitting the wall from then on.
He knows exactly the danger he's in. There's real terror in his voice. Matt is now travelling at around 40 miles an hour. In a few seconds, his parachute turns 14 times, repeatedly smashing his feet into the rock.
I put my feet out, probably going a lot faster than I thought. First impact hurt a lot more than anticipated. You know, the pain was a real shock.
Can't see his canopy yet, but...
His friends are desperately looking for the open parachute, a sign everything is okay. They can't hear his screams. The only thing Matt can do is try and grab the control line and steer the parachute. But the seconds are running out. Their friend, watching further down the cliff, can see something's gone badly wrong.
I was hoping that it was okay. I could hear him screaming, so I knew he was conscious, which is a good thing, I guess. I did fully expect this to be pretty serious.
In a last desperate attempt, Matt kicks out from the cliff and tries again to grab the control lines. There are now just a few seconds separating him from an inevitable impact with the ground. Later, Matt realises his fate is beyond his control. He tries to tell his friends, shouting the phrase a jumper only uses when they fear the worst is about to happen.
In any emergency, keeping calm is critical, and sometimes a child can do that better than an adult. Like little Lauren, for example. The only problem is she doesn't know how to explain where she is.
Bishop Auckland in the northeast of England. There's an emergency in a family car. A young child dials 999.
Is there any adults there, please?
No.
Her mother has fallen unconscious at the wheel. The car has hit the verge and run off the road. To get help, the little girl needs to say where the car is, but she doesn't know how to explain.
Try and ask somebody what road you're on for us.
I'm trying, but there's no one's answering.
Caroline Price and her daughter Lauren often take trips to the supermarket together. It's part of their weekend routine.
I'd just picked her up from gymnastics on the Saturday morning.
We were going to Sainsbury's and I sit behind Mum.
But one Saturday morning, something goes horribly wrong as the car approaches a roundabout.
I could just see her shoulders shaking. Mum started to crash. I knew that she wasn't feeling well.
Caroline realises what's happening to her and just manages to pull over. But she crashes into the curb, buckling a front wheel. All Lauren can see from the back seat is that her mother's suddenly become motionless.
She started to close her eyes. I said, Mum, and then she said, what? And that was the last word.
Instinctively, Lauren grabs her mum's mobile phone and dials 999.
Hello, ambulance service, what's the address of the emergency?
You know, at the back of Sainsbury's where McDonald's is.
Is that where you are?
Yeah.
Why do you need an ambulance?
Because my mum's having a hypo.
Right, just bear with us then, okay?
Lauren has seen this happen to her mum before, but she's never had to deal with it alone. Caroline has type 1 diabetes. She's having a hypoglycemic attack. Her blood sugar has dropped to a dangerously low level. If she doesn't get help soon, Caroline's life is at risk. But little Lauren will need to tell the ambulance exactly where they are. And she doesn't know.
Which town's that?
You know where the roundabout is?
Are you in Newcastle? Are you in Gateshead? Whereabouts are you?
No.
How old are you?
I'm 6.
You're 6. Right. So is your mummy in the car with you now?
Yeah.
Paramedic Dave Brammer has been called in, but there's still no exact location.
You initially think, well, what on earth are Control doing? And of course they were relaying information from a 6-year-old.
Right, you're going to have to try and ask somebody what road you're on for us.
I'm trying, but no one's wants to. Just lots and lots of cars coming by. And I tried to stop them and get them to help, but none of them were stopping.
Back in the car, her mum Caroline is still not talking or moving. Lauren suddenly sees someone.
Have a look to see if there's any adults around.
There's one.
Right, can you speak to them and find out where you are?
Excuse me? Where are you?
Can you give the phone to the adult?
Oh, hello?
This is the ambulance. The one speaking to us.
She's on the bypass of Chute from the A688, Heritage Park, the Chute. She's right outside the football ground. She doesn't look very well.
At last, paramedic Dave has an address. He's there within a few minutes and finds a very sick Caroline.
She was not responding at all. She was shaking. She was having some kind of seizure.
Dave needs to test how much glucose or blood sugar is in Caroline's system. Glucose is the body's main source of energy, and diabetic Caroline's levels are not just low, they're almost off the scale. Her life is at risk.
People start to become confused when we get down to 3.0. This lady was 0.7, 0.8. She'd gone beyond hypoglycemic. She was actually in a diabetic coma.
Dave has to work quickly. As Lauren looks on, he sets up a glucose drip to try to build up Caroline's blood sugar level.
Kept checking the blood sugars, kept taking further blood, and it showed that the blood sugars were climbing. Had we have been much later, I think the lady could possibly have finished it with brain damage or death. She was so low.
And she was feeling better in 10 minutes or something.
Caroline can't remember anything about her collapse. It happened as she was adjusting to a new kind of insulin pump.
I always test my blood sugar before driving. I got put on it just before the accident, so it was all very new then and kind of getting levels right.
There's no doubt that Lauren's call to the emergency services has saved her mum's life.
I've always, up till now, come round off from a hypo, but who knows what might have happened that day. So, yeah, very grateful that Lauren was there.
I've never seen anybody like Lauren. I just really haven't. She was superb.
So every time we go out now, it's, have you tested your blood sugar, ma'am? She looks after me a lot. I'm incredibly proud of Lauren. She proved to be a star.
Coming up on Close Calls. After a 10-minute trip to the garage, a man returns to find his home and his neighbours' homes burning down, and he's afraid it's his fault.
I thought straight away it's my wood burner. My wood burner had set the house on fire.
And the base jumper hits the ground. But he's alive for a reason that's little short of miraculous.
The spike stabbed through the twisted lines from my parachute. I just swung straight underneath the bar and just hit my legs on the floor.
Teignmouth, Devon. An RNLI rescue team is faced with an out-of-control motorboat careering around the busy harbour. Its solo sailor, Peter Channing, has been catapulted overboard into the path of the boat's propeller. But a quick-thinking lifeboat crew reckon they've got a unique solution to the deadly problem.
I'd had Jim hold one end of the rope, and I turned to him and said to him, "Whatever you do, don't let go."
Peter Channing has been sailing boats for 50 years and never encountered a problem. On a quiet morning in May, Peter's returning to his offshore mooring between two buoys in Teignmouth Harbour after a short cruise on his boat, the Lazy Days.
I went up the river, which is very pleasant, and it was a lovely morning, quiet morning. And I came up to my mooring. I followed the normal procedure, knocked the engine out of gear, just walked forward to pick up the mooring.
But to reach it, Peter disconnects his kill cord, an emergency engine safety shut-off switch. Then, while leaning over, he slips and knocks the throttle onto full power. With the kill cord disconnected, the boat takes off, and Peter is hurled into the sea.
I went over the stern, bounced off the outboard motor over the stern.
Peter's life jacket automatically inflates, but he's a sitting duck as his out-of-control boat circles him like a hungry shark.
The fear was when the boat was going around that I wouldn't physically be able to get out of the way if it came close.
Peter manages to grab hold of a rope on a neighbouring boat and summons up all his strength to pull himself out of harm's way.
And I was able to cling on to another boat nearby and just hear the mayhem going on around me, the boat charging around, and it was hitting other boats.
A fellow sailor alerts the Coast Guard. An RNLI boat is dispatched and is quickly on the scene. Its onboard camera filming Peter's boat locked in its frenzied spin.
We were informed by the Coast Guard radio that the gentleman was actually out of the water and accounted for, so our focus was on the speedboat that was actually out of control. We could see it doing tight circles, pretty much under full throttle.
With a flash of inspiration, the crew quickly come up with a solution to try and bring the driverless boat under control. They go after it, cowboy style.
I prepared the rope as best as I could. I'd had Jim hold one end of the rope, and I turned to him and said to him, "Whatever you do, don't let go." As the stern of the boat came around our bow, I threw our coil of rope and very luckily snagged that cleat with the coil of rope.
In John Wayne fashion and with true grit, Adam lassoes the circling vessel.
And that's when the helmsman Giles applied full power straight away, and we gunned after it. And it was then that I was able to just move around 5 foot or so and get the throttle.
With the throttle in neutral, he finally brings the boat to a halt. Peter's beloved boat is ruined, but the veteran sailor is just relieved to have escaped with his life.
It was going at quite a speed. If the boat itself had hit me, I wouldn't have survived an impact like that. I really was lucky.
A huge fire is lighting up the night sky on the Isle of Wight. A manor house is ablaze and firefighters are at the scene. One of the building's residents comes home. He's been away from the house for just 10 minutes and he can't believe what he's seeing. He's glad to be alive, but he's also ridden with guilt that he's to blame.
I thought straight away my wood burner had set the house on fire.
This is home movie footage of a much-loved house. It's called Puckerster Close, and it's on the southern tip of the Isle of Wight. Once a grand villa, the house is now converted into flats, home to 7 people. But it's much more than that. It's a community. Royston Batco has lived here for 3 years.
It was like a hippie commune, and one of the last places in England where you can go and be a bit of a free spirit.
It's early March and Royston's having a lazy afternoon at home.
I was dozing, I lit the wood burner and sort of dozed back off, and it was just this, petrol station's going to be shut in a minute, and I had one of those moments where you think, oh God, I better go and do that.
This short trip to fill up his car is the last time he'll go through the door of Puckerster Close.
Went off down to petrol station, get some fuel, and I get a phone call while I'm down there, frantically from one of the other tenants just saying, you know, get back, your flat's on fire.
Royston races home. As he arrives, the last of his 6 neighbours are fleeing the burning building. If Royston hadn't have nipped out, he would have been asleep in his chair when the fire took hold.
I don't know what happened then. That might have been very different. It might have been too late for me. I really thought of it like that.
But Royston's relief at escaping the fire soon turns to guilt, that he's caused it.
I thought straight away it's my wood burner. My wood burner had set the house on fire. And that was the only logical reason. And then I was just frantic, you know, where the fire go, what's happening?
BA crews were deployed into the building to try and find where they thought the fire was based on the information they'd had given to them by the residents that they met outside.
Royston is so worried at this point that he can't stand by and watch the building burn.
It was like some kind of Die Hard movie. There was about 15 appliances, 20 police cars, you know, where there's just chaos everywhere.
By now, the fire has engulfed the entire house. Firefighters are inside tackling the flames and trying to establish the seat of the fire. A thermal imaging camera points to it starting in an area well away from Royston's wood burner.
Scanning device, heat device, had said it come from underneath the floor over at, you know, the other side of the flat. Of course, it took the weight off me a bit from, oh God, well, you know, I haven't done it through neglect.
The crews fight on all night to prevent the fire spreading through the whole village. By morning, it's under control and the flames are all put out.
The likely cause was an electrical fault that started a fire under the floor. When it broke through the floor, because of the open windows, this created an air track which increased oxygen to the fire.
Pictures taken after the fire show there's nothing left to salvage. The fire has destroyed a house and ripped the heart out of a village. But Royston and his fellow residents have escaped with their lives.
Obviously, if this had happened at 3 o'clock in the morning, it'd been a very different story, I think. And I think that's the easiest way to deal with it, is to sort of accept the fact that if it had been 3 o'clock, I probably wouldn't be here.
Back in Lake Garda, a group of base jumpers are deeply concerned about the fate of their friend. His 1,000-foot jump from the cliff has gone badly wrong. Matt's parachute hasn't opened properly. He is just seconds away from hitting the ground. And he's desperately trying to regain control of the canopy by climbing up the straps, but he's run out of time.
I remember spotting the tree. My mind thought, okay, there's a tree there, there's greenery, and there's greenery close to the ground. That means there's not long left now before the impact.
Matt realises now there is nothing more he can do.
I'm going to hit a metal container unit here and what looks like some metal spikes. I had no control over my trajectory, no method of landing. There's nothing I could do. I had to just go with it at this point. And at that point, for sure, I didn't think that I was going to survive. It turns to trying to communicate to the guys on top that they're going to land and find a corpse. And there's a base jumper slang, you'd say, I'm going in. If you said a friend's gone in, it would mean that they've, in a fatal accident, they've died. And you can just about hear me in some mumbled screams, shouting, I'm going in, which is trying to let them know that I'm dead.
But then something extraordinary happens. Miraculously, Matt's parachute catches on a white metal structure a few feet from the ground. It breaks his fall and it saves his life.
I don't have a conscious memory. I can remember the whole thing pretty clearly. What would have been my impact point, I guess my brain just was like, okay, it's game over now, and shut down for a second, I don't know.
The white metal structure is covered with 12-inch spikes. Matt has just missed being impaled on one of them, but it's acted as a brake and stops him from smashing into the ground.
One of the metal spikes clips my nose, scratches my face, catches on the helmet and actually rips the helmet off my head. But the spike is what saved me from at least having extremely bad injuries, because the spike stabbed through the twisted lines from my parachute, and the friction from the lines, because they were twisted, locked it in place, and then almost like a swing, I just swung straight underneath the bar and just hit my legs on the floor, and my whole body wasn't impacted, you know. My hips were only half a foot off the floor, and I was just kind of lying there and had to shuffle my way down, and a couple of seconds later I was lying on the floor. I wiggled my toes, I wiggled my fingers, moved my head. I was like, oh, I'm alive. jeez, you know.
His friends base jump down the cliff to his aid, not knowing what they're going to find. A local resident is already at the scene and has called for an ambulance.
I was about 5 minutes away from the landing area. We rushed, obviously, to him as quick as possible. Thankfully, he was conscious when we met him.
Look at me, look at me. Right, where's it hurt?
Inconceivably, although clearly shaken and shocked, Matt isn't showing any signs of major injury.
He was able to tell us where it hurt and everything, so it looked pretty good from my perspective.
We're going to lie flat on the floor over here, okay?
I'm no doctor. I thought, okay, I think I've probably broken my legs. Well, I didn't really think too much about the injuries. I just didn't want to be paralysed. I was like, okay, I don't think I'm paralysed, that's good.
He's exceptionally lucky to be alive. The 12-inch metal spike has left nothing more than a scratch on Matt's face, just millimetres from piercing his eye. An ambulance arrives and Matt is put in a neck brace before being taken to the nearest A&E department.
The end product was the type of injury that you get tripping down 2 stairs.
Unbelievably, he's escaped with a bruised coccyx after his 23-second fall at speeds around 40 miles an hour. Matt doesn't even need to spend a night at the Italian hospital.
I was very surprised how Matt came off because, having witnessed the accident from my angle, I was for sure expecting to have at least a few broken bones, be unconscious. I personally believe he was quite lucky, really, from the result that he had.
It wasn't until the next morning and we watched the footage back that we really realised what a close call it was and how many instances could have occurred that could have been so much worse.
Back at his mum and dad's house in the West Midlands, Matt has had time to reflect on the accident. It's been a sobering event for him.
These are risks that I'd accepted when I started the sport, but I hadn't really thought about the impact on the family. They were pretty upset seeing how close I was to it being fatal. And when that kind of cooled in my mind a little bit, I decided that I'd pull out of the sport, hopefully permanently, if not for a good bit of time.
And Matt's helmet bears the scars of his terrifying brush with disaster.
So you can see the spike came and clipped my face, clipped the helmet here, drove up the helmet and in through this hole here, which is where I had enough force to then get pulled off my head. There's rivets on this side, but it's on the right-hand side here where the rivets were pulled out and it was torn off the top of my head. The chances of a metal spike grazing your face, pulling your helmet off your head, and then going through the lines and actually stopping you from hitting the floor, if you stack up those odds, it's mind-boggling.
That's all for today. Join us again next time for more stories from people about the day they had a close call.
Deadly devices are found metres from where a family celebrates a birthday with a seaside picnic.
We were so close to tragedy.
And CCTV reveals the reality of working on the roads. A highway repairman experiences the terror